Oh, and first pitch crushing! Oh, man! Lean into it!
Hello to all you Chads out there. This is Ideal Principal with another installment of Major League in the show 23. The first video of this series is sitting at about 900 something views, which is still about 899 more than I ever expect to get, and I'm not much of a one pump chump, so here's part 2. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Oh, I already did that. I also want to give a quick shout out to all of you with those huge peens out there who have stuck around since the Sandlot series. I think it's pretty cool and I appreciate it. And here's to hoping for about, 1,000 or so more videos, and hopefully you stick around for that too and don't get bored. Lastly, I wanted to give a specific shout out to Carl McDowell, because in absolute Chad fashion, he emailed me saying he was a fan of the Sandlot series and wanted to try recreating the Hardball squad in MLB The Show 22. So I recommend giving that a watch. But anyway, our Major League squad has completed April, May, and June, and I'll get into where we are in the standings and how the boys have done individually. And these guys are just as goofy, see? Oh, got them. And then our boys in the outfit like to jump and touch tips. They have to reach a little farther for the Asian guy though. But anyway, without any further ado, or any delays as they say on this side of the pond, let's get into it. So far, this Major League team has started off better than the Sandlot. At a 39-16 record, I think Sandlot was like 500 at this point. I think it's mostly because this Cleveland team is all small ball, and it takes some time for the bats to warm up. This team didn't really have to worry about that, because we've only got maybe 2 or 3 guys who can yeet it over the wall, and the rest are either geriatric or just fast as shit. Not much power in the lineup. But obviously this team's strength is pitching, which isn't too far from reality. Cleveland seems to have a no power philosophy, which is pretty depressing. It's hard out here for a Cleveland fan, and I'm not going to make it any easier for the virtual world. We're going to win most games by 1 or 2 runs, and hope our fans, Lou Brown and Terry Francona, don't die of heart attacks. But anyway, we're ready to head into June and July, and hopefully, maybe we'll have a game where we actually blow somebody out, but we'll see. First up, we got Willie Blade Mays Hayes. He'll steal your base, your girl, your vampire, and your money in a pickup basketball game. I want to point out that this game didn't let me do the double zeros, which was kind of disappointing, but at least it let me recreate his 3-legged speed. He runs around the base pads like he's trying out for a major league team in his blue silk pajamas. Such stride, such focus. And here he's having a little chat with Sandy Alomar. You think Kenny Lofton was fast? Shit, I'm about to steal first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. That was my Wesley Snipes voice, by the way, not my black voice. But just as he said he would do, he steals second, then he steals third with ease. Look how fast he is. He is leading the league easily with 31 stolen bases, and his .345 average I think is second in the league. And his hits are sitting at 69. Nice. So he's playing at an all-star level, and I think he's cemented his place. There's no way they can replace him in the second movie. And next up we got Isuru Kamikaze Tanaka, the man who paved the way for all the token Asian men on baseball teams. And even though he was a stereotypical Japanese guy in 80s and 90s movies, if it wasn't for him, there would be no Ichiro, Shohei, Shin-Soo Choo, Hideki Matsui, Yu Darvish, Nomo, Stephen Kwan, COVID-19, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. So we owe the Kamikaze a lot, and he's playing pretty well. He's batting .317 with 23 stolen bases. All that taekwondo can make you really light on your feet. And next up, we got everyone's favorite, Donnie Larson.
Who the fuck is that?
The virtual ladies are all sliding off their seats. He's been decent with a .275 average, but he's also cool. So even though he's basically all made up besides his name, he's one of my favorites. And it's not just because he's a dreamboat. He makes solid contact, he grabs all the balls, and he really knows how to throw it back. To first. No homo. And next up we got Mr. Get Your Girl Stolen, Roger Dorn. And he's been paying off all the opposing pitchers because he's become one of the better hitters on the team. Fuck Suzanne, who needs her? All I need is my strippers and cocaine. But good for him. He's really proving the 1% can do anything they want. Hit .325 in the majors, control the stock market, and keep you poor for the rest of your life. And then next up we got everybody's favorite redneck, Metcalf Ward.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
And he's one of the few bangers on this team, coming in with 20 dingers so far and a .280 average. He plays like he's been wrestling pigs his whole life, and you could tell he was born with tobacco in his mouth. But he makes a nice stretch here, and he's reaching pretty hard, just like all the other rednecks when they're trying to explain slavery away.
He had nothing to do with it.
And then we've got another banger, Rube Baker. And he's only got 9 dingers so far, because half the time he's like, why is everybody throwing the ball at me? And then he's reminded that he's playing baseball, and he gets it together. But he's got a heart of gold. Unlike Tito Lou Brown, Rube Baker could just get away with the darndest things. He could be a little racist and rapey at times, but he just doesn't know any better. But he's very charitable, and he's always donating to the NDSS, which is also where he lives. But I can't make fun of him too much, because he's an inspiration to all of us idiots out there. If he can make it, so can I. Next up, we got Pedro.
Are you in good hands?
Serrano. And he's been channeling Jabu all season long with 16 dingers and a 287 average. He's got Mabos. Major League 2 reference. Nobody's seen it. That was just for me. But as long as it's a fastball down the middle, you can really get a hold of it.
Are you in good hands?
But if it's anything off speed, Jabu leaves him faster than the missiles from Cuba. That's a history joke. Next up, we have the bombshell shortstop, Molina Reyna. Batting .302, and I don't think he has an error all season. He's what you'd expect from your Hispanics. He shows up to work, doesn't complain, and his salary consists of just Goya and pastelillos. It can be a little annoying when the whole familia shows up to the ballpark and then Titi Linda flashes her titties, but it's all worth it because Molina Reyna is American Hispanic, and ICE isn't showing up to the ballpark anytime soon. And last up, we got Jake Bad Knees Taylor, who's batting .235, and hasn't been doing much else. He does have 2 dingers, and one of them was this one right here, which he yeeted all the way to his Trans Am. He's just been getting himself ready for the inevitable heart attack of Tito Lou Brown. He's already the leader of the squad, and everybody looks up to him. Even though he's always talking about the good old days, he's learned to get along with a certain type of people called boomers. And then we got Mr. Country Club and Mr. Country getting along here. Nice. But he's still working on not taking no for an answer, and it still grinds his gears that his old neighborhood's crime rate has skyrocketed. And he still makes this face whenever he's looking at a cell phone, and he texts with 2 hands. But goddamn does he give good advice. His baseball wisdom is unmatched. But he's a simple kind of man, and the locker room loves it. And next up we got Ricky Vaughn, Mr. Tiger Blood, and he's already been canceled twice since Fast Forwarding to the Future. It's mostly because he's discovered fentanyl, Xanax, meth, and heroin. Since it's all the rage these days, he had to hop on board, and he's already caught the AIDS, so why not? But it hasn't slowed him down much on account of he's still the best pitcher in the league. And a sub 2.2 ERA, other pitchers around the league are starting to take up his diet. 5 of them have OD'd already, because they just didn't have that
go. Because I'm me, I'm different. I just have a different constitution, I have a different brain, I have a different heart, I have a different, I get tiger blood, man.
energy. The Wild Thing is just built different. Exhibit A right here. See, he looks at the opposing dugout, grabs his nutsack. He just built different. And then we've got somebody who's high off a different supply. The Lord. Eddie Jesus Has Touched Me Harris. And Eddie still can't get used to the future, as he still can't wrap his head around gay marriage, schmishmortion, and ladies' rights. But he's oddly a big fan of Free the Nipple, so he's not too upset. Did you see that knuckleball though? It's pretty sick. Tell you what, you keep throwing the knuckleball like that, I'll convert to Christianity real quick. But anyway, he hops over a demon right here and makes his way back to the dugout. Anyway, that's it for the starters. Fun stuff. Here's the all-star votes if you're into this sort of thing. Wild Thing has the most votes for starting pitchers. The fans just want to be entertained. They don't care about drugs. And then we have Blake Stocker. You might remember him from the first video as our closing pitcher. And then Rube Baker as a catcher. Jake Taylor, he's trash, so. Big Hoss is leading the votes for first base, though. Good for him. He's got a lot of support. And then Donnie Larson's low for the second base voting. And then Roger Dorn hasn't lobbied enough for third base yet. And then Molina Reyna has 253,000 of his familia voting for him, so that's good for him. And then look at this, Asians in the outfield. Shohei and Tanaka, 1-2. It's good to see. And then Blade's getting all the votes for center field, even over Mike Trout. It's impressive. And then Pedro's got all the Cubans behind him. But that's it for all-star voting. And then I'll show awards for continuity with my other videos. Big Hoss is in the lead for MVP. Surprising. And then Wild Thing for Cy Young. And then Willie Mays batting title. He's actually second in batting average. I thought he was first. Oh well. And then Big Hoss and Pedro for Rookie of the Year. And the Big Downs is killing it behind the dish. And then we got more recognition for the Big Hoss. And then Molina Reina is without error so far. And then Blade should be first here, but game's robbing him. And Pedro should also be first, but game's robbing him. But you know who they're not robbing? Metcalf Ward. He owns too many guns. But yep, that's all she wrote. The next video will probably just be June and July. Really just depends on how well this video does. And if it does do too hot, I'll probably just speed up the series and move on to another one. We'll see. But for now, I appreciate anybody who's made it this far. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment weird shit. Just make sure it's within YouTube's guidelines or they'll delete it. But anyway, stupid and down with the whew, really had to get that off my chest. But anyway, thanks for watching and stay tuned. Goodbye.